Welcome to Unstuck. Jacqueline, thank you so much for sharing in the comments. Welcome from Chicago and feeling sick with self-sabotage. I hear you. You're in the exact right place. My name is Melissa, and over the next 60, 65-ish minutes, I'm going to share with you 5 revelations that I had to start stressing less and living more without burnout, without self-sabotage, without doubt, without exhaustion, and without creating boundaries and sacrifice. So like I said, my name is Melissa Meller. Oh, it looks like I guess I deleted my name from my PowerPoint. That's awesome. My name is Melissa Meller. I'm the CEO of Hey You Human, and Hey You Human is a mental health and human wellness company. We essentially teach people how to be happy. We hold a proprietary technique that is revolutionizing the mental health and human wellness industry, and it's making it easy for people to feel happy in over 82 countries around the world. We're so excited to share this work with humanity. I'm a public speaker, I'm an executive leader, I'm a trainer, but what I'm most passionate about is being a champion for women in the workplace. And I'm on a mission to just teach women how to achieve in all aspects of their life without burnout, without sacrifice, without feeling just exhausted, having imposter syndrome riddle them, always feeling like they're never doing enough. I want to banish that from y'all so that you can feel good every second of every single day. I spent a good portion of my life in large corporations, a good portion of my working life, I guess I should say, in large corporations. And I left after the birth of my 3rd child because I was just feeling drained in life. I was feeling icky. I was feeling exhausted. I knew that there was something more out there. I knew that things should be better, things should feel better, but I didn't know how to achieve it. And I knew I did not want to cut anything out, but I needed to find kind of a happy medium. I'm going to talk more about myself in a bit, but first I want to do some housekeeping items on this particular presentation. Your time is valuable, and I want to respect the fact that you guys are here. And so my commitment to you during this time together is I really want to expand your mind and what you know about life and how to get the absolute most out of it. I'm going to share with you the top 5 revelations that I had that literally changed my life. And I hate when people say that, like, oh my God, it's life-changing. I don't take that phrase lightly in any way, shape, or form, but it is the truth. It really did change the trajectory of my life. And I hope that in sharing that, it does the same for you. I want you to have a ton of aha moments. I'm going to drop some stuff that I hope just opens your eyes to the power and potential that you have in your life. I want to shift your mindset and your belief system so that you can finally know how to get unstuck, how to get away from the feeling of self-sabotage, away from the feeling of doubt, and move into feeling good and falling in love with your life, every single aspect of it, not just the luxurious weekends or the holidays. I'm talking about like real life. I'm talking about deadlines. I'm talking about kids. I'm talking about commute. I'm talking about laundry. I'm talking about like real life. And I want to have a lot of fun. So I hope that you're here for that. But my request of you in order to make that happen is be sure to ask questions and keep your mind curious. I love collaboration. We're obviously here together virtually, but I want to try and feel like we're in a room together. So in order for that to happen, please try and silence cell phones, emails, all your distractions are off. We're only here for about an hour. And I know that you're busy. And I know that like there's a million and one things to do, and it's easy for us to get distracted when our phone rings or anything like that. But I want you to look at this time together as an investment in yourself, not this isn't taking you away from something more important. This is an investment in what your future holds for yourself. Use the chat box. I know people like to hover on the sidelines. Please use the chat box. Let me know that you're here. I know even a bunch of people are going to be watching the replay. Use the chat box in the replay as well. If something hits you, let me know. If you have an aha moment, let me know. I'm not here to lecture you. This is not a lecture. You're not just here to sit and take notes. I want you to have an experience. So if you're not somebody that typically speaks up, this is the most non-threatening way to do it. Use the chat box, drop emojis, drop thumbs up. Your feedback is honestly my fuel. Otherwise, it kind of feels like I'm talking to a screen, which is like fine, but not as fun as talking to a human. Last of all on this slide, use your workbook. So about an hour before today's session, I sent out a workbook that you can take notes in and to anchor into some things that you've learned and some really key points that I'm going to point out, specifically these top 5 revelations. Now, before I dive into my formal presentation, I want to start by telling you a story. I gave you my corporate profile, but that's not really who I am at my core. And I want to share with you what got me to the place that I'm at today. You can see all my little kiddos. I have 3 kids. I'm married. I've been married for about 10 years. And if you guys have kids, let me know. I talk a lot about having kids because I just feel like it just does adulting. Like there's something with those beautiful little creatures that just does adulting on a completely different level. But I have 3 young kids. My first 2 are 18 months apart. And then the other one came like 3.5 years later. And he is a force to be reckoned with. But I'll never forget the day that it all changed. I was standing in my kitchen. It was about 9 p.m. and I was cleaning up after supper and I'm packing lunches for everybody the next day. And I had a glass of wine. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I had several glasses of wine. And I was just trying to like unwind. I was just trying to get through my like chores. And I had this out of body experience. And I felt like I was just watching myself. I was watching my life pass me by. And I was just like tired and exhausted and unable to keep up. And it was just like, it like slapped me across the face. Like, what am I doing? It's like, is this it? Is this life? Like Groundhog's Day over and over and over again, like wake up at 6 or 7, rush as hard and as fast as possible to get through my day, do my chores before bed, and like go to bed? Like, is this it? And on the outside, everything seemed fine. Yeah, Groundhog's Day, right? Hi, Leslie from California, stuck in so many ways. I'm so happy you're here. It's good to know that we're in good company. When you looked at my life on the outside, when I tell this story, so many people are like, oh my God, I had no idea. And I was like, this isn't like, it wasn't like I was on the verge of committing suicide. It was just, I think so many of us are just stuck in this like, right? Like, and then we just think this is life. This is what it means to be a mom. This is what a double income home looks like. Or if you're single, this is what single parenting looks like, or co-parenting looks like, and I just realized that this wasn't the life that I wanted for myself. And it honestly, if I'm being totally honest, it felt like such a waste. I felt like I was this like beautiful flower that was just dying on the vine. I had all the things I needed, but I wasn't living. Like I didn't feel like I was existing. And, my husband and I were great. We were great joint parents. I loved him, never saw him, right? I just felt like we were roommates. We were good logistically, but there was no spice. And I remember thinking in this moment, again, this was like the snap of your fingers, but I remember thinking in this moment, if my life is the sum of its parts, what is this life that I'm living? Right? Like, do you want your kids to look back? I was like thinking like, okay, when I die or when I'm on my deathbed, are my kids going to be like, oh my God, she always made us lunches for us? No, that's not great. And I knew something was missing, but I didn't know what it was. And so then I felt guilty for not feeling good about what I had. And I had the audacity to want more. And all of these things like just swirling around in my brain. And I thought, I need more money, more freedom, a different job. And then I thought, you know what? Well, if my kids listened, I'd be happier. If my husband did more, I would feel more supported. And it wasn't any of that. It wasn't any of that because they tried, but I still wasn't happy. I could not put my finger on it. And the thing is here is that you don't know what you don't know, and you cannot see what you're not aware of. But I could feel in my bones that something was off. And so if this resonates with you, you are not alone. If I had $1 for every mom, every woman who is secretly wanting to like run away, like, I just want to run away. I just want everyone to just go away and like leave me alone. And the decision that they had to make was like pina colada or beer, right? Red or rosé. Like, what am I feeling? If those were the biggest, if I had $1 for every time I spoke to women that were feeling this way, I would be retired. I would be on that tropical island. We all have these moments that we're sitting around wondering, like, is this it? And then we get slapped back into reality of exhaustion and surviving on coffee and dry shampoo. And we just sit in this staleness of life. And that's where I was. And I love this quote because this just encapsulates what I was feeling. Like, death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss in life is what dies inside of us while we live. I heard it. When I heard it, I was watching One Tree Hill, literally like 6 months ago when it came. I'm in Canada. So when it came up on Amazon Prime, I binged it, and good old Chad Michael Murray, Lucas, he opens all of his phrases with Norman Cousins once said, death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss in life is what dies while we live. And that just hit me. Let me tell you, there was a part of me that felt like I was dying. My light was dimming. And again, like I said, it wasn't like I was depressed. I wasn't suicidal. There was no like dramatic plot twist. I was fine. It's fine, right? Like if anyone watches Friends, like Ross, I'm fine, right? It was just like lukewarm. I was meh. I was indifferent about my life. And I did not feel that spark for life. And then, dun, da, 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 it hit me. So I had these 5 revelations, not all in that moment, not all while I was standing in my kitchen, but I had these 5 revelations that just shifted everything for me. And so I'm so excited to share them with you in hopes that it does the same. So revelation number 1, your body is a vessel and it has a finite amount of space in it. Our body is a vessel. Obviously, we're a physical being and our body has a max capacity in it, and it can only hold so much stuff in there. And there is more stuff that we're holding on to than you even realize. Now, you're probably somewhat aware of this. You probably feel like you're at max capacity a lot. You probably wake up feeling like you're already behind. You probably feel like you're scrambling, or you don't totally have your shit together the way you would like. You've accumulated and stored so much gunk throughout your life, and it is stored in your body. And that storage has been happening since the day you have been born. You are a hoarder. You're an emotional hoarder in your life. You are hanging on. Even when you're trying to get rid of it, you are hanging on. And right now you're an adult and you're adulting hard, and you're dealing with adult-sized problems like money and like kids and like divorce and job security and pandemic. And you're playing this game with the 5-year-old, the grade 5 version of yourself. Ugh. I don't know if you guys have kids or what age they're at, but it's like, oh my God, yikesy schnikesy. And it's no wonder that you go around and Jacqueline, you're saying self-sabotage. It's no wonder you feel ill-prepared. It's no wonder you're feeling stressed or exhausted. It's like cramming an entire circus into a tiny car. You're at max capacity. So then when the tiniest thing pops up in your life, like, I don't know, asking your kids to get ready for school for the like 10 millionth time, your suitcase is about to explode. This is like how most of us are living life, right? I just love this gift. The world is literally on fire. And this gentleman, I wish there was a woman, but I mean, we still get the point, right? This individual is just like, be calm. It's fine. Everything is fine. This is the epitome of how we're living our life right now. But the thing is that it is our innate instincts that keep us alive. Like, does anybody feel like this? Does anyone feel like they're just constantly dealing with an uphill battle? They're constantly like putting out fires all around them. I'm not talking about like obviously literal fires, and I'm not even necessarily talking about pandemics. I'm just talking about like life, like deadlines or work or meltdown or tripping on Lego or laundry or running your kids to activities or lunches, just all of the things. You're just trying your hardest to keep your shit together, to get from space to space to space to space, and just be calm. Like, just be calm. But each day it gets a little bit harder and a little bit harder and a little bit harder because we actually haven't learned how to do anything except for calm down. We have learned how to ignore and repress our instincts. And unfortunately, when we ignore and repress our instincts, that doesn't make them go away. It just means that we're pushing them somewhere in our body, usually in our intestines. Hello, digestive issues. Hello, back pain. Hello, body pains. Every hurt, every frustration, every disappointment is taking up space in your body. And here's what I mean by that. Okay. This is you. You're just a little tyke. You're this cute little kid with a backpack and you are ready for life. You're just whipping that backpack around and you're like, let's see what life is going to throw me. I'm so excited. I'm going to go and collect a whole bunch of stuff. You're just amped. And you're going through life and you're having these experiences and you're collecting them like little pebbles and you're going to put them in your backpack. And every time you feel something, the very first time you pick up that pebble, you go and show it to somebody that you love and you trust. And you're like, hey, I have this emotion. What do I do with it? And you're like, teach me the ways. Like, good Lord, this backpack is going to get real heavy if I just take this with me for the rest of my life. And instead of somebody teaching you how to like throw your pebble away, they're like, no. Take a deep breath, go to your room, time out, spanking, shame, calm down. You're being dramatic. Enough. I don't want to listen to this. You get that instead. So what do? You pop that pebble in your backpack and you keep trucking along. When you're a kid, you're just like meltdown. You're determined. And you just keep throwing those pebbles into your backpack. You've never actually learned how to have an emotion without limits or consequences. So then you get a little bit older, right? You get a little bit older. And your shoulders start to ache and your back starts to hurt. And you have this backpack full of emotional baggage. It's like you've been training for like emotional weightlifting Olympics. And the world is like, hurry up, figure out your life, grow up, stop it. You are feeling the pressure of your life. And you just want to like live your life. You just want to like escape, right? You just want to live your life and feel freaking fantastic. But you got this weight that you've been carrying around and you're trying to figure out how to get rid of it, but you literally don't know how to get free. And then adulthood hits you. This is what I feel. It's like, we're all like dragging our shit around. Thumbs up. It's fine. It's fine. I'm good. No, I'm good. I actually don't need any help. I'm good. Thumbs up all the way. I just think this, I don't know why I find this so hilarious, but you start dealing with real stuff. And you've got an overloaded backpack that you're literally dragging around you, just pretending like it's fine. And so it's no wonder you feel exhausted and your back hurts and you feel like you're going to crumple over and die. You're desperately asking people around you for help. But guess what? They're all dragging their own backpacks of crap along with them. They don't even have the capacity to help you. It's not the boulder. It's not the pandemic. It's not the deadline. It's not the kids. It's not your husband. It's not that boulder that's causing the issue. It's the entire junkyard of emotional clutter that you've been lugging around. And so it's no wonder you have a short fuse. It's no wonder you're exhausted without doing anything. You have all this gunk going on inside of your body that you're not even aware of. And you're not even conscious of it. They get stored deep down in your subconscious, and they're impacting your belief system every single day. And so this is our first issue that we're dealing with, is that our human body is full of emotional baggage that is bubbling beneath the surface. And that baggage is impacting our ability to feel any zest for life. We can't remove this baggage unless we're aware of it, but it's subconscious, so we're not aware of it. It's a catch-22. right? There's nothing that we can do about it. Or is there? Now, near the end, I'm going to talk about how to access the subconscious thoughts and show you the warning signs that your body is actually sending you to alert you to some of these subconscious issues that you're carrying around. But I want to stay on track with the revelations first, but I want you to know there is a solution coming. And so we're going to move to revelation number 2. Excuse me for water break. Revelation number 2, you are not talking to the decision maker of your human. We are under the illusion that our brain is the almighty commander-in-chief, head honcho decision maker. We think that by taking deep breaths, letting it go, thinking a better feeling thought, forgive and forget, like as if anyone could do that. But, we think that if we make that logical choice, our brain is like, cool, yes, let's do it. We do talk therapy. We build boundaries. We learn how to say no. We cut people out of our life. We limit our time on social media. That is all a very logical phase of our life. We spend so much time nurturing the logical part of our body. It's like we're treating it like a VIP guest. But the real issue here is that there's something else that's like a puppeteer that's pulling the strings, that is telling our brain what to pay attention to. And again, that's happening on a subconscious level. So we respond to the world around us based on what our non-conscious thoughts are. And these non-conscious thoughts are the ones that we've accumulated over our lifetime. That is why when we try and do all these different things to feel better and nothing actually sticks, or it ends up feeling like more work, we're exhausted. And so this is what I mean by this. Your brain processes 11 million bits of information every second. But we're only consciously aware of 40 to 50 bits per second of information. So that means there's 10,999,950 bits of information that are flowing behind the scenes. So if you want to make a real impact on getting unstuck or changing certain things in your life, you need to actually talk to the decision maker. And it's like in sales. I don't know if anyone has spent any time in sales, around sales, but if you're a salesperson, like the very first thing that you know is talk to and sell to the decision maker, right? You don't go in and sell to the receptionist. You have to be nice to the receptionist. You have to be in his or her good books. You need to have good rapport because the receptionist is the gatekeeper. The receptionist is the one that's deciding whether or not you're getting on the decision maker's appointment books. They're the ones that decides, do we send this message along? Or is this salesperson like a POS that we don't want to have to deal with? And that's what we're doing right now is we're developing all of our logical tools. And this is something that's happening big time in mental health is we're developing all of our logical tools, but we're not talking to the decision maker. We're spending all of this time on something that has such little decision-making authority in our life. If you want to make real impact, you have to go to the real decision maker. And that comes from your non-conscious mind. And that is where the magic happens. Right now, when we're spending all this time talking to the brain, we're just talking to an obedient soldier. They are not the commander in chief. And so here's issue number 2 is that we're spending all of our time developing the logical side of our life, that nobody is paying attention to that non-conscious thought process that's actually running the show. We have millions upon millions of pieces of information that we're not even aware of flowing through our mind. It's like backstage drama. And then a light goes out and we're losing our marbles. I can't cope. I can't hashtag my mental health. I can't deal with this. So the $1 million question is, how does our brain figure out what is important? And that is all coming from those beautiful little pebbles that we have picked up along the way. Those pebbles hold pieces of metadata that tell our brain what is important to us. Your brain doesn't know what's good or bad. It just knows that it is there. The brain can't decide, oh, I'm not dealing with this anymore. It's like if you have a computer and you get a virus. The motherboard does not know that there's a virus. It knows that there's something on there, But it's your antivirus software that tells you, the user, we got to pay attention to this. This is going to be a problem in the future. And then you, the user, are, you run you do your clean out, you do your antivirus sweep, you do all of the things to keep your computer working. And our brain is very much the same way. Our brain doesn't know, our brain can't remove it. It's you, the user, that needs to say, oh, I don't like this. It's got to go. But what we're doing right now is we're like, oh, I got to go. I'm just going to go calm down and just ignore. I'm actually just going to ignore that issue for a little bit here. I'm going to get calm and then I'm going to go on with my life. That is not removing the problem at all. And I'm going to talk more about this in Revelation number 4. But for now, what I really want you to understand is that the super hack to life and to all of these experiences is that it happens at a non-conscious level. It's like having a one-on-one meeting with the CEO of a company. You're talking to the decision maker. You know that if you're in that meeting, things are going to happen. And your body is actually sending you signals like warning signs, telling you that there's something deeper going on. But right now, you do not have the right tools to do anything with it. Right? Like kind of like assembling an IKEA set without like the right, what are those stupid little keys? Like you better pray to God that they send you the tools. Nobody has the tools on hand to put an IKEA set together. So like that was a waste. Okay. Now I'm not just blowing smoke. This isn't something like that I've concocted myself. This is the real deal. This is backed by experiences of thousands of people like me, like you, that have started to integrate this into their life and started seeing life change fast and in a really good way. And I kind of talk about it like doing a puzzle. Imagine doing a puzzle and you don't actually have the picture. Someone hands you just a box of puzzle pieces and they're like, put this together. There's 500 pieces here. And you're like, cool, what am I making? They're like, don't worry about it. Have fun. You're like, this sounds horrible. Like, no, thank you. This sounds like I feel a headache coming on. And then they're like, oh, and actually maybe like 50% of the pieces are from actually another puzzle. You're like, no, thank you. Hard pass. This is how we're doing life right now. We have all of the ingredients. Yeah, fun puzzle, but no, thank you. Yeah, Leslie, I'm like, I'll do the 300 piece ones with my kids. Now they've graduated to like 1,000 pieces. I'm like, oh God, my neck is sore from being hunched over. But this is how we're doing life right now. We have all the ingredients for a real fantastic life and we can see it. We're so grateful for it. But we don't realize all the old stuff that's mixed in there. So it just feels hard. It feels like a never-ending cycle. And at this point, you probably don't even know what you're looking for. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but I want to move next to Revelation number 3, because this was like a big ba-boom for me in my life. My slide will advance. Stress does not exist. You create it every single day. Oh, what? Stress has nothing to do with what's going on outside of your life, and it has everything to do with what's going on inside of your body. And I know that that does not feel good to hear. Like suddenly you're like, okay, great. So I'm the problem. Great. Thanks. Another thing I'm responsible for. Another thing I have to control. But understanding this honestly changes everything. My mom used to say this to me, and I'm going to say it to you guys. It's horrible when you think about it. But she used to say, I brought you into this world. I can take you out. I don't know if any of you ever had a mother that said that stuff. You're bringing stress into your world and you can take it out. So let me tell you what I mean by that. So theoretically, the definition of stress, is defined by a state of worry or mental tension caused by a difficult situation. Okay? There's a difficult situation going on. It's external. Then why is it that when we wake up, we feel stressed? Why is it that we feel exhausted or just ick about life? Stress is no longer about responding to a stimulus. It's no longer about a difficult situation. We are living in a stressed environment. Our body is stressed. Why? Because our body is a vessel and it has a finite amount of space in it, number one. So we have a whole bunch of junk in there. Number two, we're trying so hard to get rid of it, but we're not actually going to the deepest core level. So now our body is in constant overdrive. Now we are stressed. And if you think about, just think about like the logic of what causes some of your stress and some of your anxiety. Think about if you forget to like send a permission slip to school with your kids and you just feel like you're a failure. Seriously, paper, forgot to sign something. Doesn't hold that much power in your life. And you're like, I am failing. How did you get there? How did you get to that point? It's not logical. Your subconscious fills in the blanks for you. Or what about if a client requests a meeting or you feel like you're doing a presentation? Say you're me right now and you're doing this presentation, maybe to 2 people, maybe to 10,000 people. Oh my God, that sounds horrible. Anxiety kicks in. Your brain starts creating all of these illogical situations. Your brain has become a Hollywood director for some like sci-fi thriller. You're losing sleep. It is not logical. Doing a presentation should not cause you to lose sleep. Your brain has filled in the blanks for you as to what that means. Stress has evolved. We are no longer triggered by external situations. We are trapped in a perpetual state of stress. And you know what, you guys? This is my biggest pet peeve that I have in like the mental health space right now, is that this is not normal. This is not how our bodies are supposed to function. Our world has normalized it, has normalized the feeling of feeling stuck, has normalized the drain, has normalized the daily grind. That is not normal. We have settled for less. I often think of it too, like, imagine you have a growth on your skin. You have a growth and you go to the doctor and you imagine your doctor said to you, okay, cool. I'm going to cut it off at the epidermis. So you're not going to see it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're just going to cut it off. You're not going to see it. No one's even going to know, but you're going to need to come back like once a year to have it cut off again. And then you're like, okay, well, every year. And they're like, well, every year, but then you're going to have to come back every 6 months. And you're like, Jesus Christ, 6 months? And he's like, well, for a little bit. And then you're going to have to come every month because it's just going to keep growing and growing. Would you be like, oh, cool. Thanks, sir. Thank you. Yes, that sounds great. No, you would be like, no, cut it out at the root, please. And thank you. And actually cut the skin around it out just to be sure we got everything. That is what we would do. But when it comes to our life, we're just doing the surface level stuff, just trying to get rid of what people can see, and we are not going deep enough. But you're here because you know that there's more to life and you don't want to settle and you want to break free from this cycle that you're stuck in of stress and ick and just exhaustion. And it's time to uncover how to do that. Can you get rid of stress? Can you get rid of all of these emotions, all these icky emotions? So as I move into this slide, I want you to remember, number one, your body is a vessel. Okay. It's holding crap that you're not even aware of. And I want you to think of all the things that you do to manage your life, to make it better, that is solely on your logic. And you are not actually creating space for your body to receive it. Instead, you're just cramming it in there and your body is like bursting at the seams and your nervous system is on overdrive. You're operating at max capacity all the time. What do we know about stress management? Since the day that we have been born, we have learned how to calm down. We've learned how to take a deep breath, to ignore it, to leave it alone, to cut it out. And we just shove it deeper and deeper into our body. Every hurt, every pain, every disappointment, every time you felt disappointed, every time that you felt you disappointed somebody, every time you felt like you weren't good enough, every time somebody left you, every time there was a snide comment that you're like, hey, well, what did they mean by that? It's living in your body. And for us beautiful women, we're seeing a rise of PCOS and endometriosis and fertility struggles. We have poor sleep. We have racing thoughts. Our bodies are speaking to us all of the time, and we're doing what we know best, which is ignore it. But we want better. And so we actually start treating our human like stuffed luggage. Who else packs for a weekend like they're gone for a month? And you're like, I need 5 pairs of shoes. I really don't know what I'm going to wear. And you're just cramming it in there, and you're sitting on your suitcase, and you're just barely getting the zipper done. You're just trying to jam it all in there. That is what we're doing with our body. And so what we need to do is actually acknowledge the FIFO system, the first in, first out system. This is the system that tells our brain and our body and our emotions what's going on. Our lives are filled with countless micro hurts and micro lessons that shape who we are today. And those lessons are what tell your brain, A, what to pay attention to, and B, how to respond. And as adults, we find ourselves with a vessel that's completely overflowing with garbage. It's weeds. It's choking our beautiful garden. So you need to learn what your body is responding to and why. And it's never what you think it is. It is never what you think it is. We blame deadlines. We blame busyness of life. We blame our husband that's having a beer in the garage or laying on the couch. We blame our kids. It is so much deeper than that. And it is time to dig beneath that surface and discover the true root of what's making our body respond. So takeaway number 3, you can control stress, but we don't know how to hack the first in, first out processing of information. We need to learn how to understand our body's way, or our brain's way of deciphering information. And even though it's happening on a subconscious level, you can do this. Even if you're not conscious of it, you can do this. And so if you're somebody who's sitting here right now and you're like, I don't have baggage, my life is good, I just need people to listen to me the first time, I have nothing to work on, I'm good, I see you. Or if you're somebody that's like, listen, I've been in therapy my entire life, I've talked this to death, this is not the problem, I understand where you're coming from. I was actually a student. Before I started working for Hey You Human, I was a student of Hey You Human. I was sitting there saying the exact same thing. I don't have anything. I'm good. My parents were together. My parents loved me. We had money. We had a comfortable life. We went on vacation. I love my family. I felt love, blah, 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 blah. I don't have anything. And then I actually started doing the work that Hey You Human talks about, and it changed my life. If you see some names at any point, anyone talking about Sarah is the founder and creator of Hey You Human. She's the founder and creator of the rapid relief technique that actually teaches us how to decode our body. I'll talk more about that later. But Sarah is the one that actually runs the program and the training, and it's unreal. I'm not a salesperson. Sometimes I feel like I sound like I am because I'm so passionate about this. But I just believe in so deeply in this work, and I'm passionate about getting women to take their power back. I want women to stop settling in their life. You guys, we're magical. I want you to know this. We are magical. Have you ever stopped and been like, holy shit, I did all of that? I want you to know this. I want you to understand this. Think of what women do every single day. And I want you to feel that in your life. I want you to feel passion and connectivity. I want you to feel life and love. You need to make that space for yourself. And if you're somebody who's like, yeah, but, no, you have not gone deep enough ever to access these micro hurts that have a big control over your body. And diving into it really isn't that scary, you guys. It doesn't mean that you've been scarred or you have these deeply repressed memories. It doesn't mean that your parents failed you. It literally just means you're finding the stone and flicking it out. It's as simple as that. Heading into revelation number 4, the cost of baggage is reoccurrence. Have you ever felt like no matter what it is that you do or you try, you just can't seem to tap into the life that you truly want? It's not about the physical actions. It's really about the underlying feeling. We've tried so many things. We do our checklists, we have our goals, and yet the more we do, the more stuck we feel in our life. And realizing this, having this revelation, had me start thinking about how often we live our life like an oxymoron. We need to try to relax. We need to learn to love. We need to consciously change our beliefs. We need to focus on being present. No, those are two very conflicting definitions. But the truth is that we carry all this baggage with us, and we find ourselves dealing with the same thing over and over and over again. Same dance, different dress kind of vibe. It's not until we let go of the baggage that we really experience the freedom that we want. So what does this look like? How do we get there? Well, like I've said a few times, we need to get to our core to them and truly remove those issues, not learn how to ignore them, not learn how to oppress them. We need to learn how to get to the core. And just like I had said earlier, our body follows that first in, first out rule. We need to get to the core issue that resides in our subconscious. And right now we have a gap. We have a gap between where we are and what we're trying to achieve. And what lives in this gap is that baggage. It doesn't matter if you've been in personal or professional development things. It doesn't matter if you've been in therapy. It doesn't matter if you've cut back on hours or cut people out of your life. We carry literal baggage in our body. And the cost of that baggage is reoccurrence. It's why you feel stuck. It's why you feel uninspired. It's why you feel overwhelmed. And we are currently caught in a lose-lose cycle. We are spinning our wheels, but not making any progress. Hello, I'm exhausted. I've been sitting here spinning my wheels, but I'm not going anywhere. The only way to break through that is dropping our baggage. You need to understand what your body is trying to tell you. And it sounds great in theory, but how, right? Well, your body is actually sending you these signals on what you need to focus on. But the problem is that you don't know how to speak that language yet. And I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes here. But revelation number 4, or current issue that we have, is that we're sitting in a cycle of reoccurring issues, trying to get out, but we don't have the right tools to do so. And many of us are just tolerating our life because we're like, I give up, fine, whatever. This is just how it is. Take me now. I'm done. I'm packing it in. But you can feel that restlessness. You know that there's something that you need to shift. And because I like pumping you guys up, I want you to know that the stuckness, the self-sabotage, the anger, the frustration, you are worth so much more than that. Your life is meant to be amazing. Deep down, you know this. I know this. That's why you're here, right? There's a gap and you want to be there. And I get it. It's hard. The more you try and close that gap, the more disappointed you become with your current circumstance. Right? And we wonder why people have like midlife crises, or they seek a reinvention of self. We're just trying to feel free. Doesn't matter if it's our finances, our family dynamic, our schedule, our health, our body, whatever it might be, we crave a sense of freedom, and you deserve that. This is how I feel we are right now. Losing your way on your journey is unfortunate, but losing the reason for your journey is a fate far more cruel. Guys, I also heard this in One Tree Hill. Who knew it was so deep? But this is how we feel. We're stuck. We're living the same routine day in and day out. We're trapped in our perpetual Groundhog Day. We sense something that needs to change. We know it needs to feel better. We just don't know where to look. But that leads me to my 5th and final revelation. The perfect segue. It's almost as if I've planned it, right? Be more like a buffalo than a cow. Has anyone heard this parable? I love this parable. We all face storms in our life. It could be finances, it could be health, it could be relationship. It could just be like the day-to-day pressure of life. None of us are exempt from it. But we also don't get to choose what storms pass through our lives. And sometimes even just getting our kids out the door can feel like the storm that we're trying to run from. Here's the thing though. We hear this all the time. The only choice you have is how to respond to these storms, right? We hear this all the time. You can't control things, but you can control your reactions. Actually, no, you cannot control your reaction. You do not have a choice how your body innately responds. You have the choice whether you're going to ignore your body's innate response or if you're going to do something with it. I actually call it your body's visceral response, that flight or fight. You do not have the choice. You are riddled with so much programming that you have learned throughout your life that as long as you're carrying those little pebbles, your body is going to respond the way it knows how. Baggage. I want you to learn how to influence your subconscious information processing so you don't have to worry about changing your visceral response anymore. Wouldn't it be better if you just didn't have that initial response? Eliminate the chore of calming down, eliminate the chore of trying to like get your shit together. And this is where this parable comes in. I absolutely love this. So responding like a cow. Responding like a cow means you're running away from an issue. If you look at how a herd of cows responds to a storm, they actually run away from the storm. So a cow, that's like the logical choice. They're not fast enough to outrun the storm. They get caught in the storm. And what happens is they run alongside it or they get caught in it, and it actually prolongs their pain and their suffering. A buffalo, on the other hand, responds by running directly into the eye of the storm. Instead, they take all of their energy to ramp up as much speed as possible, and they go directly into the eye of the storm. Now, that might be like, why the hell would you do that? But the reality is they spend all of that time building up their momentum that they cross paths with the storm, and they actually eliminate the amount of time that they're in the storm or not eliminate, but they bring it down substantially. And most of us respond to challenges by trying to run away from it. We're like, oh God, no, I'm going to hide under this rock. I'm not going to go out. No, I'm too tired. I'm not doing that. We try and run away from it. And that's fine if that's what you're doing, because you know what? That's what you have been taught. You have been a very good student, but you're never going to be able to outrun the storm. It is unrealistic. If you want to be in the driver's seat of your life, you need to act like a buffalo. You need to be like, look, I got this shit I need to deal with. And I'm cutting out some time and I'm doing it. And I'm going to arm myself with the right tools. And this is happening. You need to be like the buffalo. So many of us are just living life, hoping to weather the storm. Many of us find ourselves just like sitting around, like letting life pass us by. And the storm gradually takes bits and pieces of us, and we're left hanging on for dear life, like poor Cleveland here. Like his clothes are ripped off and he's naked and he's like, somebody help me. Most of us have been taught not to deal with it. And if you're wondering like, okay, well, I thought I was doing it. Am I not doing it? Think of how you spend your life. Are you constantly making excuses? Oh my God, I'm so busy. I mean, work and kids, you know how it goes. Are you making excuses? Do you wake up and you're like, I cannot wait to go to bed? Do you literally wish away like 12 hours of your life? Do you wish you could move into the next phase of your life so that'll get easier? And then you move into that phase and you're like, oh my God, like it's actually not easier. We're not living. And honestly, it's a waste. We're wishing it all away. And if you want to become fully unstuck, you need to act like a buffalo. You need to run into the eye of the storm, but don't do it like haphazardly. Arm yourself with the tools and the resources. So you're like, I got this. I got this. So what are the tools and the resources? What do we need to know? The secret tool that you need to understand your non-conscious thought is your body's innate emotional response. Your emotions are telling your brain, hi, yeah, we need help. We got a backlog here on aisle 5. Like we need help. And the problem is that 99% of us have been taught to either take a deep breath or calm down, or we have a belief that having certain emotions are bad, or that all emotions are bad. Be humble, be nice, don't be proud, don't brag. Emotions are not inherently bad. They are just bad when they're taken out on people. But because we're living in overdrive and we can't take it anymore, it usually ends up us unintentionally hurting somebody who did not deserve it. I often think of it like the alphabet. So think of the alphabet. You know your ABCs, right? We all know our stress. We know our emotions. We know we're stuck in self-sabotage. We we know all the things, okay? We know all the problems, but we don't actually know what to do with it. It's like your ABCs. If you know your ABCs, does that mean you can read and write and speak fluently in English, French, Spanish, and whatever other language our ABCs are based on? No, you're not fluent. You need to learn the rules. You need to learn how they work together to create language. You need to train your brain and your eyes and your tongue to work together to experience all the different angles of language. And it's time that we do the same with our emotions, because you just acknowledging them or knowing that they're there, or on the other hand, you just being like, I have no emotions, I'm numb, I'm actually numb to life. That doesn't help anybody. So if you want to learn the key, if you want to learn the hack, you have to learn how to understand your emotions. And at this point, I want to talk to you guys about the course that teaches you that, the foundations. You know you have emotions, or perhaps, like I said, you're somebody that feels completely numb in life, which is not good, but you don't know what to do with them. Those moments of numbness or indifference or feeling alone and unsupported, those are not normal. The world has normalized it, but that's not what life is about. Your brain is trying to tell you you need help. Your body is trying to tell you you need help. And the foundation is what teaches you how to understand what your body is telling you, and shows you not only how to be hyper aware of it, but actually shows you how to release the things that are holding you back. It teaches you how to release that old baggage that you've been holding on to and make space for the things that you desperately want. More love, more connection, more passion, more patience. Imagine what you want your world to look like, or like more importantly, how you want it to feel. The foundation teaches you that. And I honestly believe this is something all humans need, but very few of us have. It teaches you that first in, first out method that I talked about, to release your old baggage. It's like if you have a house of cards and it's like clean those cards up. Would you take one off at a time? No, you would rip it out from the bottom and swoop it all up and away you go. The foundation is what teaches you how to get to that core and pull it out so that it actually can change really fast. The greatest gift that you can give yourself and everyone around you is to just be happy. You guys, can you imagine what your life would be like if you were happy? What work would be like? What your home would be like if you were just happy? Oh my God, you guys, as a person that went from like overworked, overstimulated, overachieving to just being like happy and excited, I can tell you it is the best place to be. I relate to my kids differently. I relate to my husband differently. I have deeper friendships. I have more energy. And when things kind of piss me off, I know exactly what my body is trying to tell me. And it's $397. So you can join now. You can get lifetime access to this training for $397. It's yours. But just because I like being tacky, but wait, there's more. I actually have a special offer for you. Of course, if anyone's done these, of course, there's always a special offer. I want to give you the foundation for free. Okay. So if you join the Happy Human membership in the next 48 hours, and this is only available for a limited time, you not only get lifetime access to the foundation for free, but you also are going to get $200 off your 12 months access. So it's regular price $997. You can get it for $797. Plus you get access to the foundation for free. Now, what is the Happy Human membership? This is honestly unreal. This is such a perfect place for you to be supported. You get live Q&As, you get a sense of community, daily live calls, weekly Q&A sessions. This is the place where you learn all aspects of what it means to be happy. We have hyper targeted courses that cover a whole spectrum of things like parenting, like money, like relationships, like sexuality, like pleasure, connection, procrastination, literally everything. So when you start to decipher your language and you're like, oh my God, I'm so pissed off about money, you can actually deep dive into the money, it's called the wealth code, into the money course to try and understand what your body is telling you about money. If you're frustrated with your kids and you're like, why can't they just listen? You can go into our parenting course and it teaches you how to shift your relationships with your kids. It's all hosted on a private network. So it's not on Facebook. I don't know if you guys have ever posted questions in one of those stupid Facebook groups and you get all these like toxic answers and you're like, okay, well, that was a waste. Now I actually feel worse about myself. Like, oh, no, thank you. That is not what this is. Everybody understands that our goal here is to understand what our body is trying to tell you. So when you ask questions and seek guidance, you actually get helpful feedback that's like loving and insightful. It's amazing. Like watching our community pull together and shift as a team it's such, honestly, you guys, it's such a privilege to watch. We also have daily live calls. So every morning you can log in. It's usually Sarah, and then it's sometimes some of our other team. And it's 10 minutes. It's called the Daily Dose. And it's the best way to like kickstart your day. Just get into the energy and the mindset of doing the things that you want to get done for the day. It is a perfect way to anchor into yourself and to arm yourself with the tools to go riding into that storm. And we also give live access to future courses. So if you're a part of the membership, every time we run a new course, you have access to that. So we just finished one on money, like I said, and you'll get a part of that as part of your membership. And then we also have a whole host of new courses coming, like manifesting. If you're somebody who is really into the energy world, we're going into getting it done, which is a procrastination course. We have one coming up in the fall called Family Ties, and it's all about dealing with familial issues. So as we head into the holidays and you've got all this crapola that you don't want to have to deal with, I'm so excited about that course. It's brand new. And this membership isn't just a place where you like go and hang out and like we plunk you there and we're like, bye, see ya. It is a place where you grow. We are all committed to this success because when you succeed, we succeed. When you change, the world changes around you. And guys, our world is a hot mess. Our world needs help. So I want you to imagine with me for a moment. Imagine what it would mean for you to wake up and feel like, this sounds like so simple, but imagine what it would feel like to feel well rested and like that you could flow through your life. Like you're not tossing and turning. You aren't hauling your dead body out of bed. You feel good when you wake up. Oh, you're not exhausted. There's no like looming doom and gloom. You have mornings that feel easy. Even if you have kids that you need to get out the door, you have other things that you need to get done in the morning, it is easy. Imagine being able to accomplish without stress, without sweating, without yelling, with a sense of calm. As a person who literally was the angriest ass person in the morning trying to get my kids out the door to just like flowing, I stopped putting the pressure on my kids to be different. And magically, they just became different because it wasn't stress spurring stress. It's amazing. Imagine your daily workday is energizing. Like, can you imagine like loving your work and that your commute doesn't stress you out? And dare I say, you have time on your hands to relax. You're not stressed with traffic, even if you're running late. You're not stressed with morning drop-offs or getting into the office. You feel good. How you spend your day is exciting. You're not like being dragged down by it. You don't have imposter syndrome. You feel confident. You're excited to share your ideas. They're well received. You're supported. Imagine this. Imagine the more you work, the more energized you feel. The busier you are, the more purpose and zest you have for life. Imagine you're passionate about everything you do, even running activities, even making lunches, even exercising, even cooking, even homework or special projects. Everything you do lights you up because you don't have any of this old ass shit that you're carrying in your body. Life is busy. You have a lot going on. You're never going to be able to just not do anything. And even if you're like, F it, I'm done with my kids, I'm going away for the weekend. Number one, you still have to come back for real life. But number two, then what? If you don't have stimulus coming at you, then what's the point? You need to learn how to respond differently to your stimulus. You can't just stop living so that you feel better. That's just going to make you swing you into depression. You can't think a better feeling thought. It just literally cannot happen. You cannot convince yourself of something. You need to learn how to understand those emotions and welcome them and be like, hi, friend, nice to meet you. What are you trying to tell me? What can I learn? I literally laughed when I wrote this one. You're surrounded by competent people. Like, How many times in your day that you're just like, Jesus Christ, I'll just do this myself? Or how many times a day you're like, how does this person even have a job? Like I was like the queen of like, oh, I'll just do this myself. When people just like annoy the hell out of you. That's an old ass emotion, you guys. Even if you're like, no, but they're actually annoying. No. You meet millions of people every single day that don't annoy you, but for some reason, there's something in that person that's annoying. That is an emotion. The foundation teaches you, and the Happy Human membership teaches you how to understand that emotion. It's not your responsibility to change the people around you. You just need to work on you. Imagine having connected relationships with the people around you. Maybe this is your parents. And they're like, I always laugh at this one too, because I'm like, okay, I'm like 36 years old and my parents would still drive me nuts. Like, I'm an independent adult. Why do you keep bothering me? Imagine they didn't annoy you. Imagine you had a connected relationship with them. Or maybe it's your husband or your boyfriend. You feel so seen and heard by that person. Or maybe it's your friends or your kids. Oh, that is life, you guys. Imagine the people in your life listen to you the first time. How many times do you say, well, you know what? If you listened the first time, we wouldn't be in this situation. Or somebody asks you something and you're like, as per the conversation we had on Friday. People listening, hearing you. My kids literally come home now from school and they ask me what chores they have to do. Like, what? They're like, hi, Mom, I love you. They give me a hug and a kiss. And they're like, what do we need to get done? We respect each other. I do not run like a tight ship. I'm not like, when you get home, your chores. No, they come home and they're like, or there's times I come upstairs and my kids are just emptying the dishwasher. And it's not like my kids are 14, not like that's even better, but you know, my kids are 8 and 9, but this started a couple of years ago. It's unreal. We're a team. We respect each other. My husband the other day walked into my office and I normally pick up my youngest from daycare. And he's like, hey, are you busy? I'll just go and get the kids. Like, what? I think, oh my God, I feel so supported. Before doing this work, that never happened. We were like, nope, mine, that's yours. This is mine, divide and conquer. I can help you out, but I need at least 24 hours notice. And it felt like I was so alone. And now that I've removed all of that old baggage, I was able to make space for what I actually wanted. I was able to actually receive it. I was able to like create a relationship where we respect each other. And it wasn't him. It was me. And just imagine what all of that feels like and what that would mean for you. Because when it was me, all I really wanted was to feel good. I wanted to feel loved. I wanted to feel important, and I wanted to feel supported. And I wanted to feel like my life was supporting me, not the other way around. And I couldn't figure it out. And it was quite simple. Get rid of the old ass baggage that you're hanging on to. If you find that you're trapped in a messy loop of numbness or overwhelm or burnout or anxiety, it's time to help your body. Your body needs assistance. Don't overcomplicate this. Unlocking this power will bring rapid changes into your life. And nobody else can do this for you. You are the only person that can do this for you. And so if you're ready to break free from feeling stuck and feeling burnt out and sabotaging yourself and never feeling good enough, the Happy Human membership is like the winch that's going to pull you out of the mud. But I want you to remember that you are still the tires. You still need to make the move. You need to take control of your life. You need to make that decision. And honestly, you guys, I understand if you're sitting here and there's like some skepticism and there's some fear. I understand that of wanting something deep down. And then you have this fear, like, again, hello, old emotion, having this fear of it not working or wasting money that you don't have, or fear of failure, or fear of changing, or fear that like your partner's not going to be supported or you're going to fail on yourself. Let me tell you, these are the emotions that you need to let go of in your life. You've tried running. It doesn't work. You need to act like a buffalo. You need to walk into the eye of the storm, but with the tools to actually run through it. Stop tolerating your life. Stop tolerating things that you don't want. You deserve magic. You deserve fun. You deserve connection and love. But in order to achieve that, you need to make the space to receive it. And life is so much better on the other side. Honestly, you guys, just because you haven't been able to figure it out yet doesn't mean it cannot be done. You do remarkable things every single day. And there are people around you that are looking to you. And it's time that we move and set an example for what we can have in our world. If not for you, then do it for all those people that are looking to you for support. It's never about whether or not it will work. The Happy Human membership has been designed to continuously grow you. And it is a living, breathing organism. It gets better every single day. You can see the testimonials, the testimonials speak for themselves, but this isn't like some self-study where you go in there and you're left on your own. As we hear things from people, we develop new courses, new content, we change it so that people are feeling completely supported. We also, I didn't even say this. We have breath work in there twice a month. So if you're somebody, I don't know if you've ever done breath work, it's really amazing. And so if you feel stuck and you can't quite access an old emotion, breath work is a really great way to tap out of your conscious and bring those emotions to the surface and then release it. It's amazing. It all comes down to one decision. And that decision is whether or not you are important enough in your own life to do this for yourself. Are you worth your own time? Because I love my quote, so I'm going to drop one here. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And it's really as simple as that. Take the first step and we've got your back. So again, the options, you can join the foundation for $397. It's a self-study, so you'll be in there kind of working through it on your own, or you can join the Happy Human membership. You get all the support, the community, Q&As, daily live calls. It's 12 months of access for $797. You guys, it's like $2 a day. You can do this. You can afford it. You can do it. And if you join in the 48 hours, you get the foundation for free, which is amazing. And as a closing comment, I just want to say, as you're going away and hopefully pondering this, I want you to know that we all have a tendency to find 1,000,001 reasons why we should not do something. We are masters at talking ourselves out of things. But let me tell you, denying yourself the chance to have this experience is a disservice to your own personal growth. This is the easy button. We all know how days, weeks, months just seem to slide by us. Don't let that continue to happen. Press the easy button so that you can experience all that life has to offer you. You are worth so much more than you realize. And as long as you remain stuck holding that old baggage, you're never going to be able to see what is on the other side. Having you guys here, whether live or the replay, honestly means the world to me. I'm so happy you decided to join me. I'm so happy for the comments. I'm happy to, start to get to know each and every one of you. And I sincerely hope that you decide to join us inside of the membership. And if you do, I'm so excited to welcome you in.